Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, do we have additions to the agenda? The listers, are they on as an addition?
Oh, yes, that would be an addition. I apologize.
So there was also a letter from Semca in our packet.
Just post the question in my report.
Okay.
Jean, did you have another one?
I would add that. So it's the request for human services funding. You should probably add that as well if it requires a vote.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to have the listers. Do you want to go under new business, Carol?
What's that?
Do you want to go under new business since you're going to be requiring an executive session?
Sure.
Okay, and the human service organizations.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. I trust everyone had a good Thanksgiving, and our condolences to the Rawson family and others who have lost their loved ones over this holiday season. Okay, we'll start with approval of minutes. November 16th and November 17th.
I think that just for consistency, when referring to people, like maybe instead of just their first name, put like the initial of their first name, and then say out their last name. Because sometimes it's like that. And sometimes just saying a first name, I don't think makes for a good, clear documentation.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was, especially under new business, there was a lot of,
Now, Mr. Hicks.
but that's what I would just recommend. And then you did get to be Tigarino eventually, but.
Oh, he's special.
Nicest thing people ever called me in a long
Yeah,
time.
just because it was so lengthy, I was just doing it verbatim,
Yeah.
but I wasn't paying attention. So
Yeah, I think just for the, in terms of being a record, it would be good to keep that consistency. That's all I.
So, do we have a motion? Do you want to take them together or separately?
I didn't have anything on the second one. Probably have to do them separately because one's got corrections.
All right, November 16th. Would you have a motion, please?
I move that we accept the minutes of the regular meeting on Tuesday, November 16th with the corrections.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. November 17th, budget meeting.
I move that we accept the minutes of the Wednesday, November 17th budget meeting as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That was easy. Well, David, we're glad to have you back. We're sorry that we have to have you back.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be back, only with not the news that I'm going to share. Unfortunately, as you all know, I think a year ago at this time, we were hoping things were going to be better, and theoretically they're not. They are actually worse now than they were during the height of the regular pandemic, by the numbers anyways. So as of today's count for the state of Vermont, there's 53,431 positive cases. 300 today, which is down from their numbers. Their high numbers were over 600 in a day. However, there's 90 in the hospital and 31 in ICU. And that is pushing all of the hospitals to their capacity in the state of Vermont for intensive care. So the state is concerned about that, and needless to say, they're making arrangements because hospital staff and medical staff are stretched again. So they're making arrangements to make sure that can continue. The last 14 days, Windham County counted 248 new cases, 248 total cases, as compared to Bennington across the river there at 646 cases. In Vernon, since 2020, since March 2020, has seen 176 positive cases in our town. Vermont is still not in a state of emergency. The governor has elected not to do that for multiple reasons. However, the legislation did pass a mask rule, and the rule allows select boards and towns to take on the masks ordinance as they wish. So for instance, Brattleboro has passed a mask ordinance. So in public places, you have to wear a mask to enter the building. However, as with a lot of what happens in the state is there's no grounds or room for enforcement. So needless to say, that's a little more difficult. In Vernon, you already have done a mask policy for the office and for people coming in. So if you elected to pass a mask policy, it would only reflect to businesses here, which aren't a number of them that that would affect. So my suggestion, or maybe it wouldn't make any difference here for us to pass a mask policy. And again, because it's, I don't know how we would enforce it. So having said that, I think the town and a lot of people, there's a lot of different camps out there about whether masks do or don't work. And so I'm not going to get into that discussion because we'll be here for days discussing that particular one, and I'm not an expert on the mask. So vaccines is still the best way to go for your protection. Your protection and people around you are still the best way to go. Booster shots are available. The availability depends on when you got your second shot, or whether the time element there. And they're suggesting that, starting again with the group over 65, and I'm going to see that soon, is that they actually are the first ones to go, and I think most of that's happened. And as you know, they've opened the booster or the vaccines all the way up to age 5. So age 5 and up are eligible. There's variants out there. One that you're familiar with is the one that's been around is the Delta variant. The Delta spread twice as fast as the regular COVID, and it still is. And that's the biggest problem right now is the Delta variant. Vaccinated people can get COVID. However, the science and what's happened is people that are vaccinated that get it aren't typically as sick, and most don't require hospitalization. Not to say there are some breakthroughs that causes that, but your chances are much, much stronger to survive that variant as well as COVID. And as you know, there's a brand new one out here right now, the Omicron. That's a new one that we need to pay attention and be vigilant about. There's not a lot of history to whether or not it is going to be covered by the vaccine. However, they're saying, and statistics saying, that it won't hurt. If you have the vaccine, your chances are still higher that you won't get even this other variant. There's a lot of unknown at this point. The state is at 94.2% of people that have, from age 12 up, that have received at least one vaccine, and 83% of that have completed the vaccinations. So with that, your best protection, again, is the most important part of it is the vaccine. That's the one that's going to cover you the most. And I know there's a lot of different camps of why people don't want to get it, but I certainly would plead to everyone that doesn't have it to, relook at it and come up with your good reasons why you shouldn't get it. Wash your hands. We've heard this for the last couple of years. Social distancing and masks are still on the high recommendation of stopping this. I don't think you're going to find in our lifetime that it's going to be going away. I think what you're going to see is it's going to become like your flu shot. You're going to go annually and get a flu shot and something to do with the COVID shot. And that's all that I have right now. They did say that part of the increase that we've seen since October was the relaxation of people getting together. So more people from Halloween to Thanksgiving, obviously, and this month is the bigger get-together. So they're anticipating that we're going to see a continued increase at least through the first 2 weeks of January. So because of the people getting together. I know Mark Snow was on. I don't know if he's still here.
Yep.
If he has stuff to add.
I'm here.
Hi, Mark.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to your meeting. Just a couple things to add. In regards to what Dave was saying about celebrating holidays, the Vermont Department of Public Health, their website, which is healthvermont.gov/COVID-19. They do have tips on their website for celebrating the holidays safely. A few of the highlights that they have on their website is to have the talk before you go, which means find out whether people will be fully vaccinated or if extra precautions need to be taken for anyone at a higher risk, such as wearing a mask when you're not eating. And the more people who are vaccinated around your table, the safer everyone will be. Keep the gathering small. The more people in households, the higher the chance that someone could have the virus and expose other people. Even people you trust the most can have the virus and not know it. Another point is to get tested. Testing before you gather is a great way to protect everyone. You can get extra reassurance with rapid tests closer to the gatherings. At-home test you can buy at a pharmacy. The home tests are a good tool for this. If you have access to them, typically the home test kits come in boxes of 2. So if you use them, we recommend using one each day, one a day, or 2 before you gather, and the other the same day you will be gathering, to make sure your negative results is accurate. If you do have symptoms, even mild ones, please make the hard but right choice to skip the dinner and stay home. And lastly, get tested 5 to 7 days after the holiday gathering, even if you're fully vaccinated and even if you don't have any symptoms. Again, these tips can be found on the Vermont Health website. The last thing is which Dave touched on as well, protect yourself and others. Get vaccinated as soon as you are eligible. Get the booster shot and encourage high-risk family members and friends to do the same. Stay home if you feel sick. Get tested if you have any symptoms or may have been in close contact or have taken part in activities that could put you at risk, such as large gatherings or travel. And then wear a mask at indoor gatherings. Take care of when you get together and wash your hands on a regular basis. Those are the tips that the Vermont Department of Public Health are encouraging folks to do. That's pretty much what I have at this point.
Thank you both very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, recreation.
I hope everyone has a nice, safe holiday season.
Same to
Take
you.
care.
You too.
You too.
Okay, Seth.
All right, thank you.
Good night, David.
Have a good night, Dave.
Good
Good day. All right, hey guys, I'm here for my quarterly update, right? So I'll just kind of go down with where we're at right now. The pool area, the park area is buttoned up for the winter at this point. It's not like it's closed per se. People can still use the playground and basketball courts and things, but from our end, there's really nothing there that we're doing other than keeping an eye on it. But it's all pretty well buttoned up. Soccer season just wrapped up not too long ago for us. We actually elected not to participate in league play this year. We did a Vernon only league, and something we kind of a little apprehensive about. Like league play's a lot of fun, but after the first week, and one of the kids is out there saying, "Man, I just had so much fun," while they're in the middle of the game. Kind of it reduces that stress a little bit. Like, all right, good. The kids are just adaptable and they roll with things. They're just happy to be playing. So that was reassuring. And basketball will look very similar to that. We will be starting basketball up here pretty quickly, and it will be inside. So a little bit more question there, but we have some procedures in place that we're comfortable with. To at least get the kids out there and give them the opportunity to play. And it'll be Vernon only, so they'll be with their peers and kids that they're with every day. We're happy to be able to offer that. The after-school program, that's got 5 to 15 kids, every day. Pretty heavily used program. Staff there does an awesome job of planning activities and keeping the kids busy throughout. The preschool is 20 kids a day. They are busy. I guess I can probably say that a couple more times. But as always, they love what they do and it shows. What else do we have going on? The Bright Lights event that is back by popular demand as we advertised today. We had 34 houses last year. I'm assuming we'll probably have in that ballpark again this year. That'll be happening. The official night that the rec is touring and taking a look at everything will be December 22nd. But houses will be decorated well before. A lot of them already are. So that's get out and check that out. I will have a map available for which houses are signed up, but I don't know that you necessarily need a map to just drive around Vernon and check it out. We do have some other activities that we're kind of looking at, talking about, given that, as Dave and Mark just mentioned, things are not necessarily in a fantastic spot right now, so we're looking at some outdoor activities and things and that we can come up with and stuff. And it is so heavily dependent on the weather. Your best laid plan you can wake up that day and it's not going to happen. So lots of contingencies there. But we did have a board meeting last night and talked about some ideas. So and some different things, adapting and kind of having some fun with some different ideas. So we're looking forward to some of those things happening. So it's kind of a general overview of where we're at right now.
Wow. Michael.
Awesome.
Thank you for everything you do.
Sure.
Jeff?
Yep, thanks, Seth.
All good. Cool. Thanks, Ben.
Good job.
Good thing you're young.
How about that? Huh?
Good thing you're young. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, not as young as I once was.
Yeah,
Wait, that's good.
You bet.
say that.
Thank you. That's good.
Okay, Warren?
All righty. I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 11T Accounts Payable, $48,597.75. 46S payroll, $7,897.80. 47S payroll, $9,467.67. And 48S payroll, $6,604.99.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Town admin report.
So I had emailed all the departments regarding the Vermont Municipal Employee Retirement Plan Committee. I have 4 employees interested, and I wanted to know, other than Tom, if there are any other board members that want to sit in on that presentation. Can I get somebody to come out?
Yeah, I would. I didn't know how many from the board were gonna.
Yeah, and I didn't
Jump
either,
on.
so I wanted to just define that, so when I do have a date and a time for the presentation, I make sure to contact everybody.
I guess
Bad
I'll
time of
do
year.
it.
Who's that?
Oh,
Bad time of year.
That time, yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to, see if we can do it like January, because it is, very difficult now. So I'm interested.
Yes, I would,
Okay.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Retirement for the employees.
Retirement Plan Committee. I attended the city managers meeting in Woodstock, New Hampshire this past Friday. The executive director for the VLCT was there, Ted Brady, and so there was a lot of discussion on the cannabis articles with the Act 164 coming into effect next year. So that's something to consider for the warrant. I left a sample of the warrants that they had passed out for VLCT. So there's that, and Ted also...
Shelley, I got a question about
Yeah.
that. So is the mechanism as far as authorizing retailers in town or licensees be the same thing as a alcohol license, a bar license in town? Or,
That I don't know, I haven't gotten that far,
Okay.
actually. I have some questions still out to them.
yeah,
because
well,
it's so new.
I mean, that to me is, anytime there's a request for a license,
Mhm.
it comes before the board, and if this is just kind of a carte blanche, yeah, go
I think
ahead.
it's,
Assume it's the same.
I think they kind of
Huh?
sent
I would
it out.
You think it was the same
It's
mechanism?
alcohol.
Yeah, okay. That
I'm
was,
gonna pose that question and get more answers, because there's just so much going on, with all those articles. It's just so many things that need to be.
okay. Well, I guess that would be my first question, is how it's gonna be, if it would operate in a similar manner. Okay.
So we'll get more information.
How much is defined in the state statute so far? Did they talk about that?
No, there wasn't much discussion on that, but we did have a lot of discussion on ARPA funding and the small towns struggling, trying to make sense of where the funds can be spent. So they're doing some clarification. There's a little bit more out there. I have a lot of questions out to Katie Buckley, and there will be more clarification. However, I know it's going to be in time. So I hope to have a lot more to bring to you at the next meeting, so we can start deciding whether or not we want to hold a public meeting and get some input and, get the community involved. So I
Let's put that on the 21st agenda.
hope to have a list for next meeting of the possibilities. And that's all I have.
Thank you. New business, Humane Society Animal Contract for animal clothing. What is your pleasure? They've made no changes to the contract, language or fee. Entertain a motion if you're ready for one.
I move that we sign a contract with Wyndham Humane Society. As you said, the fees are the same this year.
It's nice.
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
our only place to take
right.
and shelter the animals, so.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Michael? Jeff? Tom? Jim? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. the Vernon Free Library trustee nomination. Jean, I think that would be you, by
I'm
the
not a
way.
trustee.
I had
no.
a phone call regarding this, and I didn't know if this was just something when we received a trustee nomination, whether or not you just make the motion. I don't review that information.
Yeah, well,
Is it to replace somebody now?
it is to fill a vacant position.
Okay, so it'd be until town meeting.
Right, and then they would have to be voted in at town meeting. They have asked Julie Nevins to join the board,
Okay.
and we just need the select board approval.
Okay. Do you, I'll entertain a motion?
I can't,
Jean can't, she did.
that's my fault.
Mary Lynn, did you have your hand up?
No,
Oh.
I'm not.
Well, I just wondered.
I move that we let Julie Nevins be the trustee till town meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Sir?
is it the policy, obviously not, should it be, I guess would be, the policy of the board that when a nominee for any board or committee comes up for appointment, that that person come to the meeting and present themselves to the board, even though I know the trustees for the library are a little different, but
That's not been a policy. Normally, we just take the recommendation of the committee who's worked with them.
okay.
But if you would like them to...
No, I'm not, I'm asking, it's more of a question than a
Right, not a
statement.
bad idea.
So,
Okay, all those in favor of Julie Nevins being added to the Vernon Free Library as a trustee till town meeting, please signify by saying aye.
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 And one abstention. Cemetery regulations. Ms. Sherwood?
I didn't know anything about that.
Okay. I believe that it's a question.
Old emails, because I was in Zoom rather than come, so I couldn't find the sign-in thing.
Oh, good, that's how we got you here.
Say what?
That's how we got you here.
By what? Not informing me?
I'm making it harder for you to Zoom.
So I came, oh, well, I happened to be talking
Good for
to
you.
Mike about something else
Right.
today and asked about budget.
I told her.
Thank
I didn't know
you.
anything about cemetery regulations
Okay.
being on there.
Okay, Shelley, you want to give her a heads up on what, she was at a meeting and this just came up. It's not on the regulations.
No.
It's a suggestion about our regulations. Go ahead, Shelley.
So the suggestion was made by the town clerk to add the hours
I've
of...
already done that, I've started working on them.
Yeah, so he had just sent it forward to the select board to consider.
And Tim and I have talked about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's
and
some
that's all
other,
it is.
there's some other things on there that need to be changed as well, but not too soon, but soon we'll be closing them anyway for the year.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's, to me anyway, there's a whole bunch of changes that, we haven't updated those since, I think it was 2017,
16.
16.
16.
Yeah.
and there's a whole, my opinion, there's a whole bunch on there that need to be
Review.
updated,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
changed,
tightened up a bit.
squeezed, not just tight, squeezed.
Yeah.
Very tight. Okay. Thank you. But it's good to see you. A Zoom class action settlement?
Yes, I think I had given everybody the information, I just wanted to make you aware, and if you're interested in sharing that, I'd like to bring it to your attention.
Yeah,
So I'm sure it's out there.
$25. Really?
Where can we spend it? What is the board's pleasure?
You have to do claim form by March 5th. Lord only knows what that's, how many hours that would take.
Yeah.
$25 worth?
That's what I mean. It's like, because I could do this in the library also. We have a Zoom account, so I fall right under this too, but
Yeah, it's more of an FYI.
Okay.
yeah.
Bring it to the board.
Thank you. Okay, RFPs for cleaning services, lawn care, and fire station finish work. Shelley?
We had one person who was interested in cleaning services and property maintenance, and the sealed envelope I left with you.
Okay.
And we also have one for lawn care, snow and ice removal.
Okay, so this must be the cleaning.
We did not receive anything for the fire station finish work. Thank
Did that just go out, or? Oh, it's due the 6th. The opening is the 7th, okay.
Okay, we just have one for the cleaning of the town office building, which would include vacuuming the floors and mopping as needed, and vacuuming carpets for all floors, cleaning the 5 bathrooms. Cleaning would be done 1 time per week over the course of 1 or 2 days. The cleaning supplies and the vacuum is to be supplied by the town, and the bid is for $200 per week. And that is from June Turner. Do you want me to open the other one too and then discuss them all as a group, or let's deal with this one first?
If that's okay with the board.
Okay?
To do what? Open them up? or-
No, do one at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So, what is the pleasure?
I think the bathrooms need to be done more than once a week.
You know, up until COVID hit, we only had a cleaner come in once a week. It wasn't until COVID that we upped it to 2 times a week.
Right, and we're still in that.
Right,
But
but
our
I mean, that's
vacuum
when we
drawer
thought
was-
touching things was gonna be an issue, but,
Okay.
you know, I don't know. I mean, the library bathroom could use it because no other bathroom upstairs is open to the
Right,
public.
that was my thought, because you
And,
you brought that up at a couple of meetings.
Yeah, and downstairs is getting used now,
Yeah.
so. But, you know, for quite a while, we've been down to just once a week.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
The question was asked, I just gave you
Yeah,
my thought on it, that's all.
Did we provide the supplies before?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, well, one time we did.
There's a lot of stuff in the supply
There is,
closet,
there's a
so,
lot of supplies here. I don't think we need to order anything for a while.
yeah, so I don't know that the last.
How many
we just
hours a
went
week did they
with
say?
Yeah.
She didn't say how many hours. Let's see. Just once a week. And we budget $10,000 a year to do this. You want to table this till next meeting, so you have time to mull it over?
Yeah, I'd like to read them.
Okay. We'll mull that one over, we'll hold that. This one is lawn care and snow removal. Okay. $300 per mowing for the landscape. Let's see, this is the Town Hall, North School, gazebo, and Veterans Memorial. The mowing paid per mowing service is $300 to $700 per treatment. The treatment is expected twice per year, or it's $500 per spring cleaning for the cleaning, and $600 to $1,500 for the fall cleaning. $30 per hour per person for additional services requested. And ice removal is $150 to $300 per service.
Per service,
Mhm.
not storm?
Per service.
I'll take it.
I'll be your helper.
Yeah, really, I mean, that's because it can't be done just once. If snow is accumulating all day, they basically have to come back and clear it. For that much each time?
That, I'm just.
Yeah.
reading what you wrote.
that-
And that's Scott Cottrell? Cottrell's Landscaping. Do you want to hold it up on that one too?
Well, should they send this out to like Snow and Sons?
Who?
Snow and Sons?
I have them,
Yeah, I get it, but I'm saying we're getting some ridiculous quotes back too.
they have it on our bid on one of the salting, one of the sidewalks on the, and it's not even 15 minutes worth of work, and I'm paying $100 every time they salt the sidewalk.
I thought it worked for you.
No,
Things different in the company.
my concern is, my gut is to reject that bid in its form as it's come forward, but we're getting to the middle of December here too.
We are. And I believe you did some research on hiring someone, didn't you? Or talked to Cindy?
Yes, I
What
did
you're
talk
saying.
to Cindy, and she put together some numbers for me if we were to go with a janitor, would be comparable to what last year's actuals were. So for 20 hours per week at the grade, I forget what grade it is, for a janitor, it would be $20,156, and FICA would be $1,542. And we also have a line where equipment can be purchased from, which is the emergency equipment repair and replace line.
And that's annual. That would be the annual.
That would be the annual.
The annual for the sidewalks and buildings, clearing, snow and ice removing, we had 2,000 budgeted, and for the grounds, 8,000 budgeted. So,
They didn't, that bid that came in, they're doing per
service.
incident, so you can't really
You can't.
get a look,
I was
get
up
a
over,
handle on what that's gonna cost.
I was up over 5,000 on the mowing and stuff by itself. If it was $300 per mow, and you do 10 mows a year, you know, that's 3,000, and there was $500 to $700 for treatment, that was twice a year, so I had 1,400 on the high end on that. Then they had another one for $300 to $500, and that's another 1,000, so you're up around 5,400 before you even get going.
I say you go back and hire a maintenance person.
We did have a leak in the ceiling on Monday,
Yeah.
and I came into the ceiling on the floor. I had to call a plumber, but I feel like if somebody was here paying attention, it wouldn't have gotten to that point. But
It depends on what hours they're working though, you know.
Well, that's kind of an emergency thing, because I found it Monday night, and it was late. It was like 5:30 or so. And nothing was active, so I said, okay, we'll talk to Shelley tomorrow. And she found it. She came in and seen it in the morning and stuff, so,
and I had someone come in.
But-
Still.
yeah, I mean, if it was active, would have had to do something, because remember when this room flooded? So I immediately looked in here, and I was like, whew, okay, we're good in here.
Yeah, I came in double checked.
But, yeah, I mean, there could just be days that nobody's got a reason to come down here.
We're having issues with the heat. 80 degrees in my office, 80 degrees in the janitorial room, and almost 80 degrees in the library.
And your windows opened.
I had my window open yesterday and the fan on.
Yeah.
But I did have Paula Jefferson sends out to look at, we must have a valve somewhere stuck, but
So what is the board's pleasure?
Just going back to Gene's original question about storm or service,
Mm-hmm.
the bid sheet is written as dollar per service under the snow and ice removal. So, I
that's
mean,
right.
it is confusing, like, is it every time you come and do it, or is it per storm? But the way the bid sheet's written, it is per service.
It's our bid sheet that we used.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, that could be semantic. Services clearing this storm.
Well, I mean, if you have a nor'easter and it's going 24 hours, they're gonna have to come in more than once. I understand that.
Right.
But
I guess if it's understood up front what it means.
yeah, they come in to salt the sidewalk, and that's considered because it glazed over overnight, and that's considered a service. It's not clear, I guess.
And not that, they should get something every
Right.
time they come, but, that's a lot for what the work is. Because I thought sometimes in the past, I don't know how it was billed, it just seemed like at one point we had an amount for that service and it just got divvied up like for the month. This is what the contractor got.
That's true, there was a contractor that did bill for the month,
Yeah.
so it's very confusing to try to break that down. And look at
So,
what's been doing
Board?
in the past.
So I will say again that I'm very much in support of a part-time person in the building. I'm climbing the ladders to close the vents in the library, the air conditioning vents, so that the cold winter air isn't streaming in although I'd like it today, but, and I've been cleaning up in the bathroom, and it's like, really?
Tom?
Do we require, I'm learning as I go, do we require pre-placement physicals?
For working here?
Yeah.
I think.
David does, but I don't think anybody else does.
If we're gonna be hiring somebody part-time hypothetically, and they're gonna be shoveling, and they're gonna be climbing ladders, and they're gonna be doing X, Y, Z, I want someone to come in with but I don't think you can do it for one and not do it for
Right.
others.
Well, I think if you set the job up to have those physical requirements, that puts it in a different situation. Like, as a librarian, do I need to be able to climb a ladder to be a librarian? And I'm talking today, not old school.
Well, right.
You know what I mean? So that's not in my, so I think, yeah, so I think if you set it up that you need to be able to do X, Y, and Z, that qualifies that job.
I don't think it does.
Well, I'm thinking because like when we had years ago, like an outside company come in and set up job descriptions, that was some of the stuff.
Right.
Like, do you need to be able to lift 40 pounds? Do you need, is that required for this job? So that's what made me think
Yeah.
in that term.
Yeah, I understand that, physical requirements and, that goes into the accommodations and things like that. I'm, whatever the town does, I'm fine with that. I just get concerned about the municipal liability if we hire someone who may be able to lift 30 pounds, but may not be able to shovel for an hour and a half.
I agree with you, Tom.
Jeff?
Things are a little different nowadays than they used to be. So your idea or suggestion or whatever is a physical prior to.
Right, but that would have to be,
I mean, if somebody's gonna take the job and I can lift 30 pounds, but if you think I'm gonna shovel 2 hours at a time, my back's not really that good. And I don't, you know, and that's, I don't, probably municipal hiring, it's a little different than private industry. I mean, as far as what you can and can't ask, what you can and can't do, for screening potential employees.
Want to check on that? Michael?
No, other than the initial storm, the sidewalks are supposed to be kept so that there's no more than 2 inches of snow on them. So.
Yeah,
All the employees hold tarps.
What's that?
And there's
All
a
the employees
snowblower.
hold tarps.
There you go.
Do we have a snowblower still?
That was the contractors.
It was a contractor.
But
Yeah,
They're not
that's
expensive, the little ones are not expensive.
I didn't need to go down.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's true.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, would
As
you?
someone who's worked here for many, many years.
That would be great, Carol.
When we had a full-time maintenance man, things were shoveled, things were, as far as wintertime, if we needed something done in the office, all we had to do was ask.
Yeah.
He was very cooperative.
Mhm.
Now, maybe, I mean, I think for the work that he did, I mean, he did the lawns, he did the snow removal, the shoveling the walks, the salting, you know, whatever needed to be done. We never had to worry about that stuff.
No.
And, I mean, I think, you know, I understand the budget down and all that, but I think something like this, to have somebody that works here, whether it's a 40-hour week or a 30-hour week, I think we should be able to offer them at least prorated benefits and have somebody that's here, so that if there's a problem, you know, you've got somebody here to do it. I think the town should step up to that. I really, it's not my opinion.
For my personal opinion,
Not the
I
smartest
agree with you
one.
100%. There was a time when this building, people would come in from Smith College every year to get their hunting licenses, or no, their ice fishing licenses. They would always comment on how well this building was kept up. You will not find that today. And it's nobody's fault, but I agree with you. And I honestly don't think that they had much goof-off time. They might take a coffee break, but you know what? You've been out for a while shoveling, you deserve
Yeah.
more than just a coffee break. But that's my personal opinion. I'll shut up.
So if we were to bring somebody in at 19,
That's under what we're paying now.
right, 19.50 an hour, 35 hours a week.
Let me see, Jim.
It's 34,912, and then you add a 40% benefit package on that, that's gonna be about $16,000. You're gonna be in the $50,000 range when you get through with insurance and, you know, with insurances and benefits. And that's just a ballpark, that's just a spitball, but
I mean, I would be supportive of even getting 20 hours a week to get this ball rolling. Because, you know, there's a lot of little maintenance things that just go by the wayside, even when there's little painting jobs or, you know, instead of letting things rot away.
It's called taking care of your building.
Well, that's the thing of it, yeah. And when our own custodian in the past used to strip the floors and refinish them, clean the carpets, so you haven't even factored in that
That's right.
and for every year, and I know the library carpets never got done this year.
When we had Mike Coughlin, he did all the plumbing too.
you know.
you know.
So at 25 hours a week at 19.50 an hour is 24,795 at a 52.2 year week. At a 40% benefit, even prorated for that, it's about $10,000, you'd be at $35,000 a year plus or minus on 25 hours a week.
Where are you coming up to 19.50 an hour?
I'm just
Just
throwing a
ballpark,
number
yeah,
out.
okay, yeah.
So what's the benefit package? You're not talking insurance.
Well, no, because you have to have 30 hours to be, yeah, I was prorating, I was just doing a proration of health. I wasn't thinking you don't get health if you don't have 30
No,
hours.
because you would get the prorated sick, vacation, holiday time.
Yeah, but
Might be useful to inquire of the school what they pay for custodial service.
Brattleboro just had an ad in the paper, and I think it was 1853 to 22 and some change to start in that range.
At the Brattleboro High School?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Brattleboro School Department, I don't know exactly what school.
Yeah, it could be an elementary school.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, okay.
18. I'm gonna go by 30 just for giggles.
And Cindy may have a better idea of where that job is on the grid.
She gave me the figures, it's just under 1950, it's like 1938 or something like that.
Okay.
So I was going with 1950.
So at 30 hours, it's 28,971, and then you add a 40% benefit just for giggles. That would make it a $40,000 a year position total.
But a 20-hour,
20 hours, no benefit's gonna be 20 at, we'll call it $19 again, just because of 380 times 52.2, it's 20 grand, 19,836.
which is exactly what we're paying right now. Yeah.
Which, and like I said, none of that includes getting carpets cleaned,
Right.
getting floors stripped and refinished.
Yeah,
Because we had all the equipment for that here.
Yeah,
It's still back there.
So
yeah.
then,
it's
Yeah.
still
But
better.
at 20 hours, are you gonna be able to get all that done? I don't think so.
Depends on the person, and
It
like
was-
this time of year, there's obviously no yard work.
Yeah,
And there may
That's
be
what they
days
do
of
it.
no snow.
Right.
They would have it done usually in the month of February,
Right.
because town meeting, the floors were great.
yeah. So, can I ask that this be deferred till the next meeting? Relative to the custodian, maybe Shelley can put together, some comparables.
Okay, we are in December.
Well, that was, yeah, that's true, it just said it's gonna snow.
Tonight.
I saw those little white
Yeah, we
things
got a
coming
couple
out
inches
today. I was
coming in.
happy.
I'm with you.
I deferred it.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
I will vote for you for anything. You can
Oh.
defer the snow.
Mm.
Don't tell my kids.
Put it on the next agenda
Okay.
for further discussion.
The next meeting is when?
2 weeks. Do we give up on the shoveling? Yes.
Can we do a temporary thing with the
21st.
people that, something temporary with them at least, so we have somebody?
Rather than a long-term commitment to
Yeah.
a contract. I mean,
Like a per diem type thing?
I don't,
Yeah.
that's where I'm looking at you guys, what that would be called.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, we need somebody now.
Well,
We don't wanna get locked into that thing.
Right, here, another question, is it beyond the realm of possibility? And I don't mean this in a sarcastic way, I mean it, for the next 2 weeks, if we get a storm, even if we had an open an hour late, you know, instead of 7, come in at 9, is it possible that the Public Works Department could take care of the, they're
You
gonna
can handle
blow?
that one.
Huh?
You can handle that one.
I know it won't be popular, but we're not asking for, we're not asking for the season, we're asking for 2 weeks.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, because when there's a storm, they're going from,
They are busting, I
they
don't,
don't have any downtime.
yeah, I know they don't. If we get a big storm, that doesn't work, I'm thinking if we get, no, I know that there's only 3 of them, and they do a great job. I'm not, it's just something I was throwing out
I
for
don't know. It'd be
thought.
nice if that was.
I can hear.
But
David,
might-
sorry, David, sorry.
David might have someone that he could ask. One of the ones he calls in when he needs somebody. Okay, why don't you check with that? Is that okay with the board if we ask David?
Yeah,
Yeah, you go ahead.
we offer you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lawsuit's gonna cost a lot more if somebody slips and falls.
Well, you got it.
Yeah.
And he's very good. I called him about the tree that came down last night, I think it was. And he already had somebody coming, so he's good.
All right, I'm
All right.
sorry.
So we'll move on, and that'll all be on the agenda next
So
time.
in the meantime, can we get copies of those
Yes, I was going to ask Shelley to make copies for each of
proposals
us.
there to look at?
There, with that Shelley pile. Okay, where's the agenda here? Listers. Carol, you've been so patient.
No problem.
You need an executive session, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, Tom, you see if it's your place?
Yeah.
I'll tell you which one you're at because. It's over there. Okay, so it's gonna need two motions. It's gonna need this one here and that, and it's under,
9?
number 7
Number 7.
contracts. To need to do the first motion and then the second motion.
Move that we move into executive session, correct? First,
So-
you do this before.
Move to find that premature general
Okay,
public
all right.
knowledge of North Star
North, okay.
will clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage by disclosing this negotiation strategy.
And on that, I further move
You can do that. Yes.
to enter an executive session for consideration of, related to contracts,
Mhm.
finding that there was premature general public knowledge of the subject would place a municipality at a substantial disadvantage.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those, and with the administrator and the,
And the lister to be present, yes, sorry.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Is Mr. Baldwin going to be on? I see Kat's on. Or is it just you?
I guess just me.
Okay, all right. Okay, the motion carries. We are going to executive session at 7:30. All right, we went to executive session, came at 7:30, came out at 7:40. Mr.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to engage Attorney Sansucci to draft a proposed contract between the town and North Star
Okay.
Corporation to take effect at the conclusion of the current agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Okay, we have a request for whether or not we're going to require petitions for human service organizations to be on our ballot. We waived the petition request for those who are normally on it last year due to COVID. Do you wish to waive the need for petitions again this year, or just an accepted request, or do you wish them to get petitions signed?
I think we gotta waive again because COVID's still a concern.
Is that your
So
motion?
I move that we waive
Human service organization?
human service organizations from petitioning for
Funding.
town meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, old business. Tiny Bread Box request to install a business sign. Shelley, you're up.
Okay, So I had contacted Vermont League of City and Towns to see what they had in place for a model sign ordinance. And it was very complicated, and it still hasn't been vetted 100%. I also contacted the state to see what they use for parameters, and they really do not apply. However, I did come across 2 small towns that had a sign ordinance that were pretty clear that they don't allow that type of sign. And the person requesting the sign would like to attach it to the town forest sign. So I'm thinking this may need to go to town council just to,
I mean, I would say unless it, they can put whatever sign they want on their property, but not where, I don't want to get the town into putting signs up for companies. If we do one, we're gonna have to do
they're requesting 2
every
signs.
single town, company in town, so I would say it's not something the town wants to move into.
I agree,
I agree.
totally.
The consensus of the board is exactly what he said. Okay, opioid statement.
The Dunkley Farm sign on every street sign in town.
Yeah,
Turn me loose. Signs are going up.
We've got to watch out for Jeff.
Only if it was the brown cow.
Only those in yogurt. Opioid settlement funds. Shelley?
I had submitted some additional information to you guys, and I don't know if you want to move forward and join this, or what your thoughts are. I think I've exhausted every avenue for additional information on this.
Is it free money for the town? Is that what it, I mean, in essence?
Indirectly.
I mean, is it going to require a lot of effort?
No, actually, it's not going to require much effort at all, and it's just a basic form, and you really don't have to do anything. You don't have to have a case against any of these companies, but it will go into a fund to benefit folks who use those funds, treatment, or, it's going to the community for those purposes.
Yeah, I mean, you can do public education with those too, that's not,
Correct,
right.
yeah.
Well, it's empty, okay. It's the one in Ohio. There's really, going from experience on this, and I understand it's a different state, but there's really no downside to the municipalities on this.
You want to make a motion?
I would move that the board agree to join the class action, legal action, relative to the national opioid settlement out of Providence, Rhode Island.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Is there any discussion? Michael? Jeff? Tom?
Yes.
Just ask you the discussion.
Huh?
I just asked if there's discussion.
Oh, none.
Jean?
I'm sorry.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Now you turn it on.
I think my wife's right. I think I'm gonna have to get that right here
Okay,
fixed.
survey proposal.
So I had contacted the surveyor to survey town property, and I think I gave you guys a copy of the proposal, and I just wanted to bring it to the board for approval.
Is he the only one you checked with?
That was the only one that I could find that wasn't local.
Because for that amount, we need to have more than one bid. And I would
That's what I
check,
needed to know.
I would check with the local ones too.
Yep.
So we won't mention how much this one is, we'll
Nope.
just put it over.
It's-
We're both-
it's a
did not
pretty
get
standard
that.
rate.
I don't have that.
These look like, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad, actually.
I
Yeah.
think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Be lucky to get it done quickly.
I got
You need to bid
something else.
a service.
We can waive the bid requirement proposal if you wish to. and just award it tonight. Do you not have it, Jane?
I don't have it.
Here, pass this down to Jane, please.
Madam Chair, I move that the board suspend the rules related to public bidding as it relates to survey for the town at Old Schoolhouse Road abutting the town hall, and provide the contract for a fee not to exceed $3,600 to Huntley Survey and Design, Public Liability Corporation, out of
Okay,
Temple, New Hampshire.
is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Lillis Pasture Trail. You just want the statement read?
Yeah, this is a conversation that the road commissioner had regarding maintaining this trail.
Right, and for David's support, trails shall not be considered highways, and the town shall not be responsible for any maintenance, including culverts and bridges, and that is from Title 19, 303, 302, C5.
19 BSA 302.
Yep. Okay, building and grounds, okay, we're into budget review. So David did send us an email to Shelley that sand prices have jumped this year, surprisingly, and we need to raise it up by about $1,000.
Although he really thinks it's gonna be more like 1,500.
Yeah, so if you want to do 1,500, I'd rather,
Yeah.
so, what do you wish to do for sand? Has this already been changed? No, it hasn't.
So he wants it to be 9.
He says 9,000. He still thinks we would be 1,500 short. So, do you want to be sensible and do, well, appear sensible? Do the 1,500?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
So,
I think that'd be a sensible thing to do.
10,500. Thank you. Board, how do you feel about that?
To 9,500
Add 1,500 to that,
to 9,500.
to 9,000.
500.
Salt?
Sand.
Sand.
Oh, okay.
So we had 8,000, we were gonna up, he asked us to up it to 9,000, but then he said we'd still be 1,500 short. So it'd be 10,500.
I'm reading that wrong then.
The email that was on our desk.
Oh, it's, oh, okay, I got the 15, I was thinking of 5, yes. So 10,5, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Which brings us to 94,900,
Yeah.
right?
I wanna go back and look at something. Where's my bonding fees?
Look at under general,
The what?
Are you looking
bonding,
for?
Thanks.
bonding fees. Expenses. That's on 10/7/130, it's under general expenses, insurance and bonds, so we have it in 95,000.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Still think it's too high. Okay.
So, we just need to accept, this is the final budget review.
So you still gotta wait for the bids for the cemetery.
That's true,
Oh, that's right. Go on, go down there.
but I'm not sure when, if she's gonna have them back before this has to be in.
When does this have to be in?
I don't remember the date. Did Tim tell you when the cutoff date is for the article, for the budget to be into the town report? We can
I
actually do
think we
this.
have time.
Yeah, we've got time, so
We've got time.
let's put it on for the 21st.
The 21st.
Realizing that we can accept it with the changes necessary for contracts. Okay, that'll be on the 21st.
It'll give me a chance to do some lobbying.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And what was on buildings and grounds? We've already discussed that?
It was the bids.
Okay.
We can make any changes.
We don't want to admit this, but Stan is going to retire, so we need to advertise for an equipment operator mechanic for the highway garage. He's given us a lot of good years. And I'm going to pass around a thank you card.
Is there immediate retirement or is there a date?
So he's actually given the official word to David.
Evidently.
I think he's gonna give us a couple months.
Yeah,
Because
he's not going to leave us in the lurch.
No.
saying this for you.
Or Wendy?
Oh,
Yeah.
My name's already on the top.
Every year as winter approaches, I'm retiring.
I don't blame him.
So, sorry, I didn't hear, was there a date?
No.
So he didn't actually retire?
Well, he won't leave us in a lurch.
So it'll take a couple months.
Yeah.
But he's anticipating beginning of February.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll have somebody in place, or maybe he'll plow per diem if we need him.
No, that
I'm
would be
not sure
good
how it
too.
works in the town, but any other place I've been to, you pick a retirement date.
No, you know.
So,
I thought she was going to
I
Norwich.
thought she was going to Norwich.
No,
I
she's
did
in
too.
Whiskey.
I was picturing her at King Arthur Flower.
Yeah.
Must have really. Maybe he'd be interested in being a custodian.
maybe.
That's tough. Huh.
Okay, that's all we have unless we have our next meeting will be in 2 weeks, December 21st. And all Christmas shopping done. And we'll get started.
That'd be time to start.
I am done.
That's what
21st.
Jenny keeps saying.
I am done.
Wow.
What do you have, like one person to buy for?
Yeah,
Or one-
yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah. So the boys are still home.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
We are adjourned at 7, no,
57.
7:57.